Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Fashion Psychology TV. I am your host, per usual, the fashion psychologist, Dr. Dawn Karen. And on today's Fad Mania episode, we will be talking all about the Rom Com core trend. So what is the rom-com core trend? The rom-com core trend is an adoption of the 90s and 2000s fashion and beauty trends in our modern times. Essentially, it's as if you are dressing like the main character from your favorite film, TV, or maybe even book. For all intents and purposes, we'll be naming some movies and some TV shows that you probably can recall, and if you can't recall, you probably should add them to your watch list. So movies could include Love Jones, The Preacher's Wife, Save the Last Dance, Serendipity, You've Got Mail, It Takes Two, Waiting to Excel, The Best Man, and Pretty Woman. All right? Some TV shows could include Clueless, Moesha, Ally McBeal, Sex and the City, Girlfriends, Living Single, and Friends. So these are just to name a few. And rom-com is short for romantic comedy. So if we were to take the rom-com core trend and look at it in a fashion psychological way, we would explore how does dressing like your favorite main character from your rom-com TV show or film, how does that positively affect your mental health and your own self-image? Considering our state of the world, there has been approximately 675 million COVID cases worldwide. Let's not forget the recent earthquake that has flattened Turkey and Syria, climate change, the continuance of the Ukrainian and Russian war, also first ministers, presidents, prime ministers of countries such as the United Kingdom, New Zealand, and Scotland resigning from their position. Profiling that has ended many Black lives, the U.S. blocked Crown Act, Iran's anti-hijab law, and the list goes on. Again, this is all happening in the macrocosm of our world around us, and it has ripple effects in our smaller world, the microcosm. The ripple effects are indicative of anxiety, depression, fear, worry, etc. On an unconscious level, below awareness, TikTokers and anyone who's decided to adopt this rom-com core trend are using it as a way to cope with the world around us, whether they realize it or they do not. If you're taking a Midsummer Night's Dream approach, circa 1999, or even a Sex and the City approach, circa 1998, you're definitely employing my mood enhancement dress theory, aka dopamine dressing, where you're dressing to elevate your current mood. And if you're taking a Poetic Justice circa 1993 approach, or a Save the Last Dance circa 2001 approach, you're definitely mood illustration dressing, aka serotonin dressing. Mood illustration dressing is a fashion psychology field theory where you're dressing to perpetuate your current emotional state, to maintain some type of emotional equilibrium. If we go a bit further to examine the rom-com core trend, we would have to define the decades. The 90s fashion trends were defined as being edgy yet minimalistic, and the 2000s fashion trends were defined as being edgy yet futuristic. The downsides of adopting this rom-com core trend could be an unhealthy form of escapism. Now, reaching back for nostalgia is all good, but it's unhealthy if you're not acknowledging those feelings of anxiety, depression, fear, and worry. Essentially, you end up simply suppressing your feelings, which leads you to an unhealthy form of escapism. For example, if you're feeling anxious, acknowledging, not suppressing, is healthy. Then you can decide whether you want to employ my fashion psychology field theory mood enhancement dress or mood illustration dress, dopamine dressing or serotonin dressing. But the key point is you actually acknowledged, you recognized your feelings. You honored yourself. The second downside to adopting this trend could be when you decide to adopt it 24/7 and not giving it a break. So you end up wearing this trend within all of your social groups. Think your family, your coworkers, around your friends, and you actually may run the risk of being ostracized from groups that you feel so endeared to. The last downside to adopting this trend could be essentially when someone gets stuck in a particular decade, such as the 90s or the 2000s, and they're still wearing the trend 10, 20 years later. Now, why they get stuck is they feel that this is the absolute best they'll ever feel, so they're at their peak. And you usually will see these persons, they look as if they're stuck in a time period, like they're in another decade. I frequently have seen this with people who felt as if, or with clients who felt as if in the 80s they were at their peak, and they literally look like they stepped out the 80s. Now, everyone in the 80s is coming back, so they might blend in a bit, but it's still an example. It's still an adequate example. Now, if you yourself would like to explore this trend, rom-com trend, safely and effectively, you can purchase a fashion psychology field prescription on my website, fashionpsychologysuccess.com. The prescription includes a mind map of what we're talking about, as well as self-reflective questions. All right. If you made it this far, I have a special surprise for you. It's a Valentines Day surprise. Head over to popsugar.com and read the latest article on Valentine's Day, where I am featured, and you'll get the surprise there. Once you've figured it out, leave a comment here. Okay. I'm so excited. And now I'll be ending this episode, leaving you with fashion psychology TV images directly from New York Fashion Week. These are from brands and designers who are not yet featured in mainstream publications or even have blue verification badges, but they do deserve some recognition. Most times within the fashion industry and the psychology field, the gatekeepers will not open the gates, and knockers are forced to give up in defeat or continuously knock to no avail. Yet here on Fashion Psychology TV, we take pleasure and honor the marginalized, the underdog, the different, and the outliers of the world. And with that being said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're watching me from your part of the world. Thank you for watching. Until next time, bye. Please don't let it show.